with a show of eyes for the people that are here. How many people here use TikTok? DIY.
Nope.
No. Just no.
Is it just one? Okay. And then how many people use Facebook for advertising? Or to post to advertise themselves and what they do? Together.
I attempt that.
Okay. So is that 3 of you? Okay. And then, okay. So we'll just try to like play this by ear on how much I dip into each thing. Anyone use YouTube other than E? You can show, yeah. You can push your raise hand button, which is awesome, so I can see that. That's all right.
I cannot find that button. Por ahí, though.
Who does? Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, you guys, I am going to be sharing a few things with you guys today from the get-go. I primarily use TikTok and Instagram to advertise my true, authentic self and capturing my audience. So I do have a couple videos I want us to watch first, and then we'll talk about how they captured an audience in 15 seconds or less. That does not mean that a video was 15 seconds or less. That means we've captured the audience in 15 seconds or less, and then I'll pull up my PowerPoint and talk about what happens. So I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys. The first video is myself, and then the second video is E. So we're gonna share this. Let me know if you can't see it. All right, so this very first video, you guys, you're gonna find that it is only about 7 seconds long. I'm gonna play it for you guys, and then we're gonna talk about what I did to engage the audience with my true authentic self in a short period of time to derive high comments, likes, video share ratio, and get people interacting with my content. So here is the video.
Authors of Book Talk, if you could only tell me one line from your book to convince me to read it, and other readers too, what would it be?
So from the beginning, we're seeing that I am close up to the camera. I'm keeping eye contact for the most with the audience that I'm trying to reach. But what you might notice is as a neurodivergent person, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do, talk with your hands, and I make a point to not hide that. I know a lot of people like really make a point that, oh, I've got to be staring at the camera and I've got to hide that I'm a fidgeter. I don't hide that I'm a fidgeter. And I think for people that do that in their everyday life, when they see that, that draws people in for the most part. I also keep what I'm communicating straightforward. I'm asking right off the bat. This is who I'm asking to communicate with. It's the authors of Book Talk, and this is what I'm looking for. And you'll see over here, I had over 235 comments. To this video. I had 255 people save this video to use later. I have over 508 likes on this, and I posted this the beginning of the end of last month. And is it gonna let me show you guys? what I really want to show you is it might let me, hold on.
Top. If you could only tell me what.
No, don't play that again. You guys are covering up my other tools. Hold on. Okay, so it might not let me show. Okay, so if I could pull it up, it's not letting me show it, but on this video, it's going to show you guys that view analysis right here. This is what I wanted to show you guys. So if you view my analysis, what you're looking for when you're creating a visual, or we could say a video piece of work, is your retention rate. It says right here, it shows a dip at 2 seconds, right? And for some reason, marketing focuses so much on that 2-second point. And though that 2-second point is very crucial, you guys, the other essential point of time that you need to be able to retain someone is 7 seconds and then 15 seconds. If your video is more than 15 seconds long and you can get them to that 15-second point, it is such a higher rate that you're going to keep them watching to the end if you get them past that 15-second point. For me, this video is only 6.5 seconds long. And so if a video is shorter than 15 seconds, you want to make sure that you're retaining more than 50% of your viewership after 2 seconds, which I've done. You can see that I have 66% of viewership after 2 seconds. And you can see at the end of my video, which is higher than average, I have 40% of people watching. Yes, the video is short, but still, to be able to retain 40% of your viewership to the end is a high amount, no matter how long your video is, past 5 seconds. So that's really important. The next video we're gonna watch is Ease. And her video is longer and got a larger viewership, a way larger viewership. My other video I was gonna share with you guys is this one, and if we have time at the end, we will do that, but we're gonna watch Ease now. Ease video got over 2 million views, you guys.
Neurospicy friend.
And real quick, we're gonna pause because we're gonna see that she has 3,638 comments total. She had over 300K likes, over 3,000 comments. She had 166K people, you guys, favorite that video to go back for. And what E is doing that is phenomenal on this, you guys, is she is showing her true authentic self in this short video by saying, hey, I'm neurodivergent and I struggle to do this task. And because I struggle to do this task, I'm going to show others, and it's going to bring people back to want to watch more of her content. Here's her video.
You haven't found goblin tools yet. Holy crap, you need them.
Okay, we're gonna pause real quick. Do you see how she said, holy crap, you need them? She isn't retaining her excitement for this, you guys. She's not giving it to you she's giving to you for a professional need, but she's giving it to you at her true authentic self. She's not making it come across as being super professional. She's bringing it to you as being like, hey, if you're also a neurodivergent person like myself, holy crap, this is what you need. And she's showing that she's so excited to share it with you all.
We break down tasks for you. I just put in Tidy Desk. It gave me all the rest of these things. It will help you decide whether or not your emails sound right, professional or not. It'll help you decide, is this text being read the way I intended, or am I misreading the tone on this?
You guys, to touch base at the fact that this was one of E's topics that she wanted to share with you guys, that is this a professional enough? Is this a proper tone? Neurodivergent people, myself included, I think we really struggle to make sure, does this sound professional or does this not? Because even though we do professional roles, in our minds and as a whole, we come off more on the playful side of things. And so sometimes we struggle to sound professional enough, or we struggle to wonder if we're professional enough, if we sound professional enough. We struggle, I feel like, the most with the imposter syndrome. So having a tool to be able to throw that in there and having her share that with everyone and being like, hey, this is there. She's showing her true authentic self. She's saying, hey, I've struggled with this before, and maybe you have too. Here's a tool to find it. The other thing is checking the tone on things. I say things sometimes, and I don't realize that doesn't sound great. I need to check the tone on this, or I've said things in my professional field. I am a patient access navigator overnight, so I am in a leadership role in registration in an ER, and sometimes I have to be like, how did that tone sound to the coworker I'm talking to, or the person that falls under me that I'm talking to, or someone else that I'm interacting with in my job role? Like, was it snippy? Was the tone off? Like, what was it that I might have said? Especially, a lot of things are done typing in the system, back and forth through messaging. And my biggest thing is, what does my tone say? So I love that she shared this with us all. Later on, when we talk about doing physical posting to social media aspects, if you're wondering what your tone is, you can use this tool right here to be like, what is my tone? Is it going to capture my audience?
How long things take you. It will help you create a to-do list out of a brain dump, and if you have various different things in your kitchen, you can put ingredients in it, and it will tell you what you can cook with. It is
that right there, you guys. So being able to create a list as a neurodivergent person that might struggle and stay on task, awesome. Love that she included that. But the very last one, where she included being able to put your ingredients in to make something in your kitchen, that's showing you that she also wants to show you you can use it outside of your professional field. Hey, you can do all this professionally, or, hey, guess what? You can also put ingredients in from your kitchen and it will tell you what you can cook. So E is touching not just on the professional side, but also the personal side. She is creating a bond with her viewership, whether it is professional or, hey, I just like her videos, I want to watch her, even though I'm not in the editing industry, I'm not in the reading industry, I'm not a publisher. So she did fantastic with that.
completely free and has no ads on the website. And if you want to buy the app, it's 99 cents in the App Store, not a subscription. You just buy it once and you own it. It is freaking amazing. So neurodivergent friends, give this a check. It is a life changer. Also,
Oh, it's not done. Hold on.
not being sponsored in any way by them. I just think this is cool and I really needed to share.
Okay, so we didn't technically need to watch that last part about her not being sponsored by it. But what I also love is E made a point to be like, hey, this is what it's going to cost. This is how you obtain it. And I'm not being sponsored by it. As a neurodivergent person, if you put me out on a task and be like, hey, I want to download this, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole that's going to be endless. For her to be like, hey, it's free or it's 99 cents, this is where you get it, that's taking tasks out of my brain and making it a clearer shot for me to be like, okay, I'm going to go download this. By the way, I so went and downloaded this, and I'm kind of curious how many people started using this particular, we could say, helping program after watching E's video, because the viewership was freaking amazing. All right, so we're going to exit out of this now. And the next one, we're going to watch real quick, you guys. What's the time? We got time. All right. We're going to watch this last video that I created, and then we are going to talk about social media posts after this.
Authors of Book Talk, do us all a favor. Would you show us the first page of one of your books so we can read it, and tell us what the title is so we can find it after, because we all know we're going to be hooked after that first page. Authors of Book Talk,
Oh.
do us all a favor.
Sorry, you guys, didn't mean to replay that again. So for this video, what I want to show you guys is long time retention rate with being your true self in this video. And I also actually want to point out in the back of E's video, we got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not making a pretty background to make someone think that my life is perfect. You can see I have junk back here. You can see I have excess stuff. You can see that this is the room of a neurodivergent person. And so in my video, you can see I am in the kitchen of my sister's house, and I just had this idea to ask this question about seeing book covers as a neurodivergent reader. A book cover sells me from the get-go. If I can't be drawn in by the cover, there's a higher chance that I'm not going to read it. And then the next thing I do is I go read what the book is about before I make that decision if I'm going to read a book. But for the most part, a cover is what draws me in. I'm dyslexic. I have ADHD. And for me, it's really the front cover image that really draws me in. That's probably why went to school for graphic design, but that's not here nor there. We're gonna see here that my comments aren't that big of a deal, you guys. 344 comments. My likes, still not a huge deal, 4,383. But you guys, I've had over 40K views of this video. In this video today, I don't know why it just did that. No, I don't. I wanted to see the trend. Okay, it's not letting me. Anyways, we're gonna exit out of this. Because we don't care about a knife ad. Sorry about that, you guys. So, our comments, it doesn't really matter that wasn't that high on that. The thing with this video is that it's still bringing me viewership in stitches and tags to this day, and it will hit a year mark in a week. So in a week, it will be a year old of a video, and it is still bringing me viewership. It's still bringing me followers. It is still getting recognition and viewership a year later. A lot of times when you post videos, you're lucky for them to kind of be seen for a week, a couple days, really, if you're lucky. If it's a good one, a week. If it's a fantastic one, a month. So to be able to still be retaining viewership and bringing viewers in and getting new followers off a video a year later is not really heard of, and it's very popular and kind of like a shock when that kind of happens. I believe E's video, when I was looking at some things, like I think she's still getting views on that video that hit 2 million. E, correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to chime in on that. Are you still getting viewerships and likes on that? Perfect. Thank you. All right. We are going to... The struggle bus is real today, you guys. All right. So this is going to be capturing audiences in 15 seconds or less. My name is Lindsay Royer-Hanson. We've just watched 3 videos, and I know a lot of you don't use TikTok or YouTube to create your content, but if you're not, you might want to ask yourself, why not? We are also going to touch base quickly on actual posting on, say, Facebook, Instagram, X, I still think of it as Twitter, and how those written posts bring viewership in. But in this day and age, so many people, especially a younger generation, we could say, is captured by a visual instead of a written post. So when you are creating your content, whether it is written or visual, the first 15 seconds are the most important, and you want to make sure that you're being your true self. I talked about earlier, one of the ways I show that I'm my true self, I don't hide my crap in the background. This is the life of a neurodivergent person. I don't hide that I talk with my hands. Sometimes you'll see I struggle with keeping eye contact with the camera, and that's just who I've been my whole entire life. Even my children, who are ages 5, 10, and 12, struggle with keeping eye contact. They are also part of the neurodivergent community. One of them is high functioning autistic. One of them is ADHD and dyslexic. The other one is ADHD. And they just struggle with eye contact, and there's nothing wrong with having that be a struggle, and there's nothing wrong with showing others that's a struggle of yours. As long as you are being personable in your videos, having a positive tone to your voice, and showing interaction with, you know, your hands or in other ways, you're going to draw viewership in. And so let's talk about how you draw your viewership in, and the time that our little sidebar from our actual presentation is getting in my way, you guys. Hold on one second. There we go. Is it going to fix itself? Maybe. Maybe not. That's so weird. Okay, what's going on, Keynote? I did, and it's being weird. It's like all blacked out. I love technology, you guys. My run through that I did at 1 a.m. when no one else was on here worked fine. Hold on a second. Da, 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 da. I'm like locked for some reason. All right. Let's. Are you guys seeing my now? Can you guys see that? Okay. I don't know why it is being wonky. Sorry about that, you guys. That was really weird. Okay. You guys can see this though? Perfect. So it says, did you know the first 2 seconds, 7 seconds, and 15 seconds are the most important time capturing moments in your video or written post? So whether you are doing a visual, like I showed earlier, where when we're looking at the data from posting a video where 2-second retention rate, 7-second retention rate, 15-second retention rate, or whether it's something you've written out to post, if it's a long post and you want your people to read that post that you are marketing, if it takes more than 15 seconds to read that piece of written work, you want to be able, you're capturing your audiences at these time frames: 2 seconds, 7 seconds, and 15 seconds. If that means you have to sit down and read that out loud to yourself before you post that and go, okay, yep, there's something capturing at 2 seconds, 7 seconds, and 15 seconds. Great, awesome. Moving on, do it. If you're using the tool like what E showed us, also wonderful, because you can test and see, is this capturing? But on a visual standpoint, even in YouTube videos, if you're going to take your YouTube videos and break them down to use them on TikTok, or if you're going to take your TikTok videos and push them together, or even do YouTube shorts, you're going to want to make sure that your capturing times are 2, 7, and 15 seconds. And this isn't just me coming up with this. I've taken multiple marketing classes and done extensive research on marketing. These are the times that are important. These are what truly matter when you're capturing your audience. And the other thing is making sure you're being your true authentic self as a neurodivergent person at those 2, 7, and 15 second marks. Does anyone have any questions before I move on to the next slide? I am good. Everyone good? All right. Let's see if I break the internet when I go to my next slide again. Doesn't want to work. Let's see. I don't know why this is having such a struggle bus moment today. It's how it works, you guys. My husband thought it was ridiculous. He's like, why are you getting up at 1 a.m. to see if it works? And I was like, because I want to make sure everything goes fine. He thought I was hysterical for doing that, you guys. And now this is why. This is why we do the struggle bus. Okay. We're just going to quit that and try to bring it back up and see what happens. All right. Can you guys see this? Nope. Let's try again. Can you see this? Okay, awesome. Oh my goodness, you guys. Technology. All right, so video retention rate, the viewership, we've talked about that in retention and why it's important. So if you're going to make either YouTube or TikTok videos, it's very important to make sure that you keep that retention at the 7 and 15-second mark. And you can kind of play around with your posts and your videos that you're making and see like what works with your audience and what isn't working with your audience. Because something that might be working for months and months and months might all of a sudden not work, or something that wasn't working starts working again. It's really interesting to see how people's what captivates them changes. Depending on the season, the time of year, the time of day, that all really plays into it. Why it's important, because you guys want to be able to retain your followers, whether it is on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, Instagram. You want people to push that follow button, because I even struggle with this. You might see if you go onto my account, I only have like 7,000-ish followers on TikTok, but I've also removed a bunch of people if they're not active anymore, if they were spam accounts. We all love those good old fake accounts on social media places where they're like user or @user and then like a bunch of numbers after them, and they have no posts and their home base is Guatemala. That person probably isn't real or isn't really interested in your stuff. So when it's also why it's important to know your viewership, it's important to know who's following you and to weed out those fake followers, because it can actually like drag down your viewership and how much your stuff gets posted to your true followers and people that actually want to see your content out there. So don't ever be afraid to remove someone that's following you, even if they're not giving you a hassle, they're not bothering you, they're not harassing you. If they're a fake account, take them off. I think so many people are like, oh, I have to have so many followers to be able to do XYZ. I could really care less if I hit 10K followers on TikTok, because I have a great interaction to video post ratio with the people that actually follow me. Every time I post a video, I know I'm going to get over 200 plus views. I know I'm going to get at least, 30 to 50 likes, and I'm going to get at least a handful of comments. And that's, the lowest base amount that I'm going to get. If you get bogged down with all these fake and unreal accounts, unreal followers on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere, even on Facebook, it's going to limit what people that really want to see can see, because they go off how many followers you have versus your interaction rate for their algorithm and what they decide to push to people. And so if your viewership, interaction to follower ratios are off, they're not going to push your videos out to be seen by more people that aren't already seeing your content. And lastly, let's talk about how your true self keeps them coming back for more. When you are your true authentic self, people can tell, you guys. People will see if you are acting fake. It's not something, unless you went to acting school, it is not something that you can just pull off easily. You have to be able to come across as someone that is personable, someone that they feel they could be a friend with, someone that they feel when they interact with, that is, sorry, how should I say that? That's when they interact with you in your post, that they're being viewed, that they're being seen. That means commenting back on their comments that they've left on your posts, following them back if they follow you and they have content that is something you might be interested in. You don't have to follow back everyone that follows you. I definitely don't. But creating those relationships with other people that are peers in your field, whether you're an editor, a writer, a publisher, a designer, an illustrator, being able to find those peers in your network and people that are along those same lines. If you're an illustrator like myself or an editor like myself, I'm going to want to be friends with authors. But I have a multi-use platform. I also do professional reviews for books. So you might see I also have some friends and some people that I'm following that are fellow reviewers, fellow readers that create content as well. So I'm showing that I'm being my true authentic self by doing so. When you see content creators out there that have thousands of people that they follow, and they're only following back 50 people. They're only following back 100 people, but they have 70K followers. They have 1 million followers. They're not being their true authentic self. Because what they're doing is they're telling everyone, it's only worth following you if I know you. It's only worth following you if we really are friends in the real world, or if you can do something for me. Because if they cared about their following and if they really wanted to have a larger interaction viewership, they would follow more people. You can follow like 5,000 people on TikTok. You can follow, I think it's like 10,000 people on Facebook. And so when we see that those people don't have their numbers maxed out or close to maxed out, even if you're a person that was like, oh, I can have 10,000 on Facebook, so I'm only going to follow 8,000. At least that's closer to saying, hey, I'm giving a little give room for people that might come or go, but I'm following as many people as I feel possible. With TikTok, if you're following, say, like 4,000 people or more, and you can follow 5,000 people total, at least you're showing your viewers like, hey, I'm following as many people as I can possible with a little bit of give room for new people that I feel that I might need to be able to follow back, or vice versa, for, personal reasons. It's when you have those lower numbers that you're coming across not so much as your true authentic self. Even on YouTube, I'm very sketchy on who I decide to follow that has no one else they're following. So many people will create videos and they're following like 1 or 2 other people. That really throws me off, you guys, because that's telling me that they are only going on and posting. They are not watching other people. They are not interacting with other people. They are not boosting other creators. And what you really want to do is find people in your network that are willing to boost other creators like yourself, because that means when you're like, hey, I need some help, with advertisement on this. He's saying she has separate channels on something. Hold on, I want to see that. I have separate channels for personal use in my writing editing channels. Yes, having separate ones does work too. I have separate channels. I have a personal one, and then I have a business one where I do so for TikTok and also Facebook, I have both. I have personal and then professional. I have personal and professional on both aspects, and that's really important. Oh, on YouTube, you mean? So yeah, but E, do you at least follow a handful of people on your professional one? Are you following similar creators on YouTube? Because I have separate channels, personal use in my writing edition channels on YouTube. Yeah, so you're at least following some people that create similar content. It's those people that aren't following anyone else, that don't make similar content, that really make you kind of scratch your head and be like, are they here to support other creators like themselves, or are they really here just for the viewership of others? Because when you're your true, your authentic self, and when you want to be part of a community, such as like a neurodivergent community or the publishing community, being supportive of other people in that community, in our community, is so important, because when you need something down the line, if you ask that person, hey, do you mind sharing, my new books come out, do you mind sharing and talking about it? Hey, I have, a new deal going on for my editing this month, do you mind sharing? If that person looks and is like, oh, you don't follow me, I'm not going to do that. Or why would I hire you? You're not even following me. Why would I hire you? You've never even commented on one of my posts. That is something that's really important to these people. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to see that their viewership is important to you, that them following you is important to you. And if they see that your followers are maxed out, they might not care as much. But if they're like, oh, you could totally follow 4,000 more people, and I'm not even one of those people that you follow, they might be a little hesitant. We are going to stop sharing the screen because we are almost at the end. So for the last part of it, now that we are done with the slideshow and everything else, I want to talk about creating your like little hive with being your true authentic self. And when you post things, if you can find people that you can create content with, that is fantastic. E and I have made some posts. We have a group called Book Talkers of the Round Table, kind of a play off of Knights of the Round Table, and we have created content on there before. And what happens when you create content with another creator is you get your viewership plus their viewership combined, and being your true authentic selves individually and then putting that together really broadens who you are communicating with and who you're bringing in for your viewership, for your followers, for your sales. How many people in here are authors? Show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. 5, 6. So a majority of you guys in here are authors. So with you guys, particularly, if you're not on TikTok yet, or YouTube, or if you're not doing, we could say, they're called Reels on Facebook, but are they called Reels on Instagram also? I think so. I don't use videos on Instagram enough to know, but I think they are also Reels. If you ever do a mashup with fellow authors, you're going to find that you are getting your viewership and their viewership. Same thing with when you do those like mass book giveaways. How many of you guys have, show of hands, how many of you have done like those giveaways where you combine with other authors to do like a mega giveaway? A couple of you have done that. Yeah, so when you do those together, you're bringing in viewership, not just for yourself, but viewership of people that have also viewed and read those other authors' books before. Be careful with those posts, you guys, though. Any of those posts where it's like, comment, share, if you get someone that starts following you from those posts, whether it is on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, if they're only liking your profile, they're only following you on your profile for that post alone, you might have a huge influx in followers because of that. But what will happen is they might never interact with your content ever again. So sometimes it's best to just be like, instead of like, hey, follow all of us, like, comment, and share this. And if you think you want to see more of us in the future, follow us. Don't make that following a requirement to win one of those giveaways. Oh, the book funnel. Book funnel is a good way to do it, you guys. I adore book funnel. I love using it with some of the authors that I help when I do PA work. Book funnel is fantastic. Has anyone used book funnel here? Yeah, but if you haven't used book funnel before yet, it is probably the coolest thing since sliced bread in the publishing industry. And what's interesting about book funnel is we're going to get a little off topic. We've got 10 minutes left, so why not? Because I think I've touched base on everything I can for this. Book funnel is very interesting, you guys, because it is used not just by traditional published authors, but it's also used by independent authors. So kind of everyone is throwing their hat into that and using it to distribute ARCs, to distribute audio ARCs, to distribute free book downloads. A lot of people that are like, hey, I want to offer this book download, but to be able to do it, if I'm on selling on Amazon, is I have to make, it free, or if there's a certain thing that goes on, my brain is going blank right now, where Amazon won't let you lower your book lower than 99 cents if you're in a certain category, and I think it's Kindle Unlimited, but I could be wrong. It could also be like a specific aspect of Amazon books. But what happens is, using book funnel, you don't have to touch anything else. You can simply be like, hey, my book is free as a download on BookFunnel next 24 hours or the next week or whatever, and you don't have to go on and change your prices on, say, Amazon or Barnes & Noble or anywhere else. You're just doing these critiques and these edits for pricing just on BookFunnel. And it's so simple to be like, hey, here's the link to download the audio, or here's the link to download the e-copy of this book. And then you can export out, you guys, to like, to your Kindle. You can export it to Apple Books. You can export it, I think, to I don't know what Barnes & Noble uses for their reading. Is it Nook? You can export it to Nook, or you can just read it on BookFunnel. I have thousands of books on BookFunnel. Yes, okay, so if you're not in KU, they won't let you. Yes. So BookFunnel is very interesting. If you haven't looked into it, if you've never used it before, you really should, because it is such a simple way to get your ARCs out there. To your ARC team. It is an easy way to get books out there if you want to give a ton of books out for free for a day. Hey, it's my birthday and I'm giving my first book of my series out, to the next 100 people. You can set up so that it stops. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had to launch anything on BookFunnel in a while myself. You can make it stop giving out at a certain number. You can make it so that you have to have a certain activation code to get certain things. It's just a really nice tool for authors to use. All right, I am gonna say I'm done unless anyone else has any questions.
Are there specific techniques you would use to retain attention after the 15-second mark?
Oh, that's a good question, E. Yeah, so when you are looking to retain people after the 15-second mark, so your big thing is when you're creating a video, if you can get your viewership to 15 seconds, there's a higher probability of them watching the whole way through, and keeping your content, how do I want to say this? Interactive for the viewer. And let's see, you want it to be interactive in some way, but you also want them to feel like I need to watch the whole part of this video. Some of those ways you might see people retaining their viewership all the way through, and I don't know how many, I know some of you guys said you're not on TikTok, but if you've ever seen those videos where in the corner it tells you how many seconds are in this video, that retains a lot of people sometimes because they're like, oh, this video is only 60 seconds long. I can watch that video for 60 seconds. Some people might in the caption be like, watch this whole video for blank at the end. That's a good way to keep retention. But honestly, the biggest thing to keep retention in a video is making a video interactive, drawing people in with what you have to say, but not making it chaotic. If a video is chaotic, I'm scrolling past. That is too much for my neurodivergent brain. It is too much. If your camera's bouncing all around, if what you're saying is like, those people that when they're trying to tell a story, you're like, get to the point. Those kinds of videos, people aren't going to stick around to watch them. If you are giving clear, decisive, verbal content to someone, they're going to stick around a lot longer than if you are jumbling up what you're saying and mixing things up and digressing to 5 other topics in your video. People aren't going to stick around and watch the whole thing. They're not going to stay past the 15-second point because they want to know what the video is about, and they want to be able to be like, okay, this is what the video is about. If I'm watching the rest of the video, this is what the video is about. If at the 15-second mark they're still kind of being like, okay, what's the point to this video, you're not going to retain them. Any other questions?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty good. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.